Sherry, I had the most horrible dream. Oh, me too, Betty. I think it's a camp spirit. Oh my. Hope we don't have to call the exorcist. Again. Well, at least we have him on speed dial.
Will you two shut up? I'm trying to sleep and you're freaking me out. Weirdos.
Years ago, the founder of this camp had a wife who had a penchant for owning exotic pets. One day, at the local flea market, she found a rare species of spider that grew to be the size of a human head. As time went on, the lady realized that the spider would only eat the blood of certain mammals, otherwise it would fall very ill. Most would try to get rid of such a pet, but she had grown fond of it and the pet store didn't want it back. She started feeding it squirrels and raccoons and other critters around the campground, but eventually it grew tired of those and fell very, very ill. One night, her and her husband had a row, and in order to calm her nerves, she decided to clean the spider's cage. Her husband had come in to apologize, but as he started, he felt a tiny yet agonizing poke on his foot. He looked down and realized the spider had bit him. He fell to the ground, convulsed, and as the lady checked his pulse, she realized he was dead. She covered up the whole incident, still mad at her husband and not wanting to give up such a pet. After a month had passed, she realized the spider wasn't getting ill as quickly. Over time, she started inviting strangers from town into her house in order for the spider to feed. Town drunks, doctors making house calls, and gentlemen suitors were all disappearing one after another. Realizing she couldn't keep up with the spider's diet without the town getting inquisitive, she decided to let the spider free. The night that she let it out, she woke up with a startling dream of her ex-husband. When she awoke, the spider was on her chest, staring at her maliciously. It bit her and killed her instantly. When the townspeople went in, they found her remains, the remains of her husband, and all of her various victims entangled in spider webs, with no spider to be found. It is said that to this day, the spider's offspring still roam the camp, awaiting the flesh of an unsuspecting victim.
As long as I could remember, there was only the darkness. My confinement seemed infinite, unending. From time to time, I could hear muffled sounds from outside my prison, but never enough to make any clear sense of what was happening. My day-to-day activities were limited, as I had nothing to occupy my time and only that dreaded darkness to keep me company. As time went on, I could feel myself slipping in and out of sanity. Was my prison getting smaller? It was. Why was this happening? Would it eventually crush me and end my lonely existence? In a fit of rage, I lashed out and struck something. It wasn't the solid confinement, I thought. It moved. As my fist struck the wall, I heard more sounds from outside. I struck again, and the sounds grew louder. A third strike prompted my prison to collapse further on me. Was this the end? As this thought drifted through my mind, I suddenly saw something. I was elated at the prospect of light, but my elation quickly turned to horror as I realized what the light revealed. A massive metal claw. Terror took over. What could I do? Where could I go? The walls around me were collapsing even faster now. I tried to pull away, but that claw knew where I was. I felt cold metal wrap around me, and I suddenly was pulled upwards. Blinded by the light, I heard my first true words. "You're a winner!"
There once was a beautiful fat woman. She was so deliciously fat. The fierce folds of her skin contained ample, juicy flesh. One day, a handsome non-binary person fell madly in love with her, and they asked for her hand in marriage. They were quickly wed, and went to their cabin in the woods to consummate their wedding night. Upon entering the cabin, she began to disrobe, exposing every inch of herself to the person she loved. Her spouse began to fidget, and as they removed their clothes, Their human form broke apart, revealing thousands of tiny spiders. She shrieked in horror as they climbed her body and penetrated her through every orifice. They consumed her, inside out. Now, wearing her flesh, the spiders roam the woods at night, searching for their next feast.